One, two, one, two. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's your boy Chum 202. All right. I know I'm looking like, I'm from the West Coast right now, but I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm looking like Easy or something right now, or one of those guys, but I was never in NWA. Peace out to Easy. Nonetheless, so let's talk about Tasha K, Cardi B. Here's my take on it. I thought about this. I know a lot of people have done the little excerpts on it, but I didn't hear nobody talk about what I call the big picture. All right. So I heard, wait a minute. Okay, so I heard Tasha K saying this was all about the industry coming down on her, and, she'll be okay, yada, yada, yada. Her business, this, that, and the third. I went on a couple of sites, and I listened to other people talk about it, wondering if she has 1.25 mil. And then it went up to almost 4 million, 3.8 mil. So they're just like, does she got 3.8 mil? And then people were saying that she's doing about $1 million plus a year, with her sponsors and everything. So eventually she'll be able to pay it back. But 3.8 mil is a lot of money. Nonetheless, it was a defamation of character lawsuit, pretty much against Cardi B. And Cardi B handled it in a legal way. Instead of throwing shoes at you, she was just like, I'm grown. I got kids. I'm married. Or I have a kid. I'm married. I think she's going to have another. I don't know. But she's like, listen, I'm going to handle it this way instead of this way. So she took her to court because, Tasha K said that Cardi B had a venereal disease. She doesn't. And then Cardi B proved that she doesn't, and Tasha K admitted that she knew Cardi B didn't have one. But she did it, just to get things going, get more people to her site, get more people to talk about it. That's how vloggers do. So she's got to pay for that because you can't do that, especially to somebody like Cardi B. Now, let's look at Cardi B. Let's look at Cardi B herself and some of the things that Cardi B said that was very interesting to me. And she said this like a year ago. She was talking about how, because Cardi B goes live all the time, and I love that about it. And she was talking about, look, there are a lot of female rappers out here who can rap, but y'all don't want to listen to them because they won't talk about their vag. She was like, there's a lot of, dope MCs out here. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all only want to hear, about sex and about, women doing this, that, and the third. Now, when you take it back to the days of NWA, and before that, back in 1991, when you take it back, you'll find out that there's a documentary that was put out by the people who control the music industry, which are Jewish people. And they said they did not want to hear anything positive. They said because it was boring. Like self-destruction. They didn't want to hear from Queen Latifah. They didn't want to hear from MC Lyte. They didn't want to hear from Poor Righteous Teachers, Public Enemy. They didn't want to hear any of that positive stuff, to uplift us. They wanted to change things, and so they did. And then here comes NWA, and here comes a bunch of destruction. And other groups that came out, and what they talk about, cursing each other out. There was a lot of, and this was on both coasts, and just come out and gangsta this, and gangsta that. This is our territory, and calling women out their name. There was no more uplifting women and queen and all this. There was, go out and have sex with whoever you want to, completely destroy your relationship, destroy the home, destroy the women, and then the women come out. Now they're dressing any old kind of way. the women are sleeping with whoever. The females nowadays have no morals whatsoever. The women are worse than the men. And a lot of this came through music. And this is why you have the teenage pregnancy and all the babies that are being born, and then Planned Parenthood, stepped in the 80s and just helped destroy the home. And this is what Tasha K was talking about. No, she was like, listen, this is a machine that I went up against. She's like, when you speak out against, certain things in the music industry, is basically it's a machine. And Cardi B is a leader of the new school. I mean, her and Megan Thee Stallion. You got a couple other women out there, slut walking and doing a lot of stuff and talking foul about their bodies. I mean, look how they promoted Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion when they were up on the Grammys scissoring each other. Yeah, it's just outrageous, but this is what they want. The more oversexed we are, the less we care about each other. I mean, we have no feel. Look at how many black men and women are being shot and killed by other black men and women. They want you to do this so they can step in and pretty much say, well, you don't treat yourself like anything, so we won't either. Look at what happened to Lawrence Smith Fields. But look at what the police did. They were just like, this was a nice guy. The only guy who knew what happened, they let him walk and said he seemed like a nice guy. When has that ever been an excuse for the pretty much the guy who did it to just walk away? But he was a white man, so they just let him walk. This is what Tasha K is talking about. They're tearing down our communities with this trashy music. And I'm not saying that Cardi B is trash. I'm saying that Cardi B knows. This is a very smart woman. She comes from Brooklyn. She comes from the Bronx. She knows the deal. She's not stupid. She knows what she says can promote or demote. She's just not a stupid person. And I was watching Cardi B when Cardi B was talking about politics. That's what I liked about her. All this other stuff she's got going on, I don't really pay it any mind. I do love the fact that she's to the death about her family. I like that. People didn't like when she took back her husband. I was like, screw you, that's her husband. So, but all this, I don't cook, I don't clean nonsense, I don't, that's not Cardi B. Cardi B let you know that's not really her. She's saying this because this is what sells records. Her husband is worth $29 million. I mean, come on, you didn't think they were going to fight this? That's not even mentioning Cardi B's rich and how rich she is. You didn't think they were going to fight this? If you try to stick a hole in Cardi B's career by saying she has a venereal disease and she was just up on the Grammys scissoring with Megan Thee Stallion, do you know how many people will not want to listen to Cardi B if they think that she's running around and, something's wrong with her vag and she's leading this type of nonsense? You know how you realize the financial Cardi B is on a global scale. This is not somebody it's just from the neighborhood anymore. That was over with Bodak Yellow. She is global. Everybody knows her name. $4 billion isn't even close to the money that she could lose if she did not get out ahead of this. It's not even close. It's not even close. Not to mention the companies that promote Cardi B and put her out there with, whatever language this is, these people, they're not going to let you stop that train. And when Cardi B stops doing it, they'll go find somebody else to do it. There'll be a little girl coming not even out of high school. She'll be in high school, and she'll be talking about all the D's she had. And she'll be talking about having, 4 or 5 best friends and all this nonsense that these other women are talking about. You don't know, man, like, get out of here. She'll be talking about guys running trains on her, and she'll be proud of it. And then somebody else will, one of these older goofballs will take her under her wing and, do a slut walk with her, and they'll be promoting the same thing that's going to take a bunch of people straight to hell. They'll keep promoting it and promoting it and promoting it until they see the hellfire. No, I just wanted to say this. Tasha K was not wrong when she was talking about what that music does to our society. Look how many people in Chicago get shot in one day. On one weekend, how many people got shot and killed? It's just ridiculous. And we're fighting over territory that's not ours. We don't own those projects. You can't go anywhere without thinking that it's going to go down. You can't go to the club anymore. You can't go to the movies anymore. Hell, they're just knocking people off that are just walking down the street. I mean, if they see you shining in any kind of way, if you got a nice new car, it's over. I seen this one guy got into a car crash. Wasn't even his fault. Wasn't even his fault. But somebody else saw that car crash, and they came out and they put about 8 bullets in this guy's head. Just ran over and just gunned him down. People have no love anymore, and a lot of this is coming from the music. So I'm with Tasha K on that. However, I am not with going and saying that somebody has a venereal disease and they don't. That was a mistake by Tasha K, and she needs to pay for it. I'm with Cardi B 100%. Cardi needs to know. Cardi, you're liable. You're liable for what you say, Cardi. Listen, the Jewish people who are promoting your music and telling you to say all this stuff that are getting all these teenagers pregnant and all these little girls pregnant, getting a lot of these little girls are coming up missing now. If you haven't noticed, Cardi, a lot of these little girls that you're telling going out and do all this sexual stuff, a lot of these girls are missing. And I mean missing. I'm not talking about ran away and coming home later. I'm talking about they'll never see home again. We have no idea where they're at. I'm just saying, Cardi, listen, you may not feel it where you're at, but there are people who are listening to your music, doing what you're saying, you, Megan Thee Stallion, and all the other women who are putting out this trash music. They're listening to what you're saying, and they're going out and doing what you're doing, but they don't have the protection that you do. And these little girls are running into these people, bad people, men and women. Especially you got to watch the women because nobody thinks women are bad. But women are terrible. They're running into men and women, and they're never seeing home again. And the most heinous things are happening to these little girls who are listening to you. So I'm with Tasha K on that, but Tasha K, you should have did this a better way. It's your boy Tom 202. I'm out.